Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Freeman Mazda post-game show presented by Freeman Mazda. If you're searching or looking for a new, used, or Mazda certified pre-owned vehicle in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, hit up Freeman Mazda of Irving, Texas. They have been a family-owned and operated business for over 60 years with new inventory arriving daily, including the 2021/2022 now Mazda CX-5, and I, of course, drive the Mazda 6.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Stop by Freeman Mazda in Irving, Texas today or go to freemanmazda.net. I am kind of at a loss of words for that final play of the game. I mean, I was coming into this kind of concluding the game was over, but that's the play.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm at a loss of words.
Yeah, I'm with you.
What was that? I mean, what was the? I mean, they'll give us an explanation in the presser. Only thing I can think of, maybe they were trying to get a few more yards, get down to about the 35-ish, spike it, and then throw a Hail Mary. I don't think I've ever seen a team be in Hail Mary distance with no timeouts and run a quarterback draw with under 15.
And before the fans get in there and say, well, the ref got in the way,
it still was a bad call.
It's a terrible call. But in order for you to actually snap the ball, the ref has to touch the ball. You can't, as a team, can't spot the ball.
Okay.
So when Dak went down and then they got up, Tyler Biadasz was setting the ball. The ref has to come in and touch the ball and set the ball before you can actually get a play to be run. So that even more complicates why you would run that particular play. I mean, you had a better chance of just catching it, throwing it, a quick 5-yard out.
You literally were doing that all the way down the field for chunk yardage.
Yeah.
You could have just got a quick out and then had a shot at, and I said it before, not necessarily a Hail Mary, but an actual play.
Yeah.
And for them to do that is just mind-blowing, and I would be shocked, honestly. I mean, maybe this is prisoner moment because, once again, we're coming on here literally moments right after the end of this thing. So emotions are high, but Dallas does lose 23-17 in what ended up being, I mean, one of the wildest wild card games I've seen in a while. When a team was down, what was it, 15 or so?
16
points. But nonetheless, what I was getting at was somebody's head's probably going to roll.
Yeah,
right? I don't think I'm overreacting in this.
No, I don't think you're overreacting in this. I think we expected more from the collective group, and I mean Kellen Moore, Mike McCarthy, Dan Quinn, Dak Prescott and company, and we didn't get that this game. There were moments in this football game where we got kind of stellar moments from those guys, but overall in this football game, I don't think Kellen Moore particularly called a really good game. I don't think Dan Quinn had answers for things that we knew that they were going to do. They ran the ball for 169 yards and had 4.4 yards a carry.
That's usually going to result in a win.
That's usually going to result in a win, and you knew that coming in. Like, you knew coming in exactly what they wanted to do.
But here's the big one. 14 penalties, Jesse.
Yep.
Somehow, some way you had a shot, and then a lot of those penalties were on such crucial moments of the game, including I did get the ball back, but including to end that game where Gregory holds on to my man.
For what?
I mean, how fitting though, right?
But this goes back to what we've been saying all year long. And I get it. You can blame the refs if you want to all year long, but when you're an undisciplined football team.
This wasn't the refs today.
No, and it wasn't. But when you're an undisciplined football team, this is what happens to you. And you can't magically turn that switch off of go from the most penalized team in the league all year long to all of a sudden playing a clean football game. And you needed to play. You needed to play a clean football game today, and you consistently shot yourself in the foot with 14 penalties. And the hands to the face, legit penalty. The holding calls, legit penalties. Like that wasn't some phantom stuff that they were calling.
No.
The offside, the
offsides, encroachments. Yeah.
Those are legit things that were happening. Connor Williams holding legit things. It wasn't some phantom stuff. But this is what the Cowboys have been doing all year long. You just didn't see, Dak. You thought after Nick Bosa went out early in that football game,
That defensive line turned up more.
Dak was sacked 5 times.
And 4 of them, I think, happened after that. But
He was sacked 5 times. He was hurried like 10 times. He was knocked down a bunch today.
I told you this in this game. I don't think I've ever said this in my life. Watching the Cowboys, definitely not covering the Cowboys, but Tyron Smith got whooped today. He got whooped today.
And people got upset.
That trick.
People got upset when Nick Bosa came out early this week, and he said, we saw him on film. You know, they got some good players, but they're beatable.
Yeah.
They're beatable.
He didn't say anything that was wrong.
No,
man.
he didn't. He said they got some really good players, and God gave God's credit. He said, but I saw them on film, and they're beatable. And they went out there, and let me say this. You know what's the most disappointing part to me? There's been a couple times this year where there were opportunities for quote-unquote statements. And
they've failed at each and every one of them.
And every single one of them, they've talked a big game and come up short when it came time to action. Yeah, we heard it last time against the Arizona Cardinals.
The Chiefs.
And and it came out
Tampa
this
was open a week.
This week, and it was like, we know that they're physical, but they have to deal with our physicality, and you didn't match it. You came up short. You gave up 170 yards rushing. Jimmy G gave you what we threw.
Jimmy G gave you what I thought Jimmy G would do.
Jimmy G'd.
Made a couple of plays that he does each game, but also gave you opportunities. And one of those opportunities, you had a chance for a pick on the tip with Hooker, and he dropped it. But that same play, hands to the face, extends the drive. Game changer.
Game changer.
I mean, you had to take advantage of those opportunities. Hey, Nick, is that going to – Nick, is that going to play?
Can we get them to turn that down?
Yeah. That's going to be a problem. If the stream is still even here. Let me just make sure of that. Okay, we're still here. Yeah, man. I mean, he gave you opportunities. You just had to take advantage of them. One time you did, when they got the pick by AB, and then you went down and you scored the touchdown, but not enough times, right? I mean, he was 16 for 25, 172 in that interception. But, again, we said this. He doesn't need to have a crazy game for the Niners to win.
Right.
He just needs to not turn the damn ball over and make the plays when they're there.
Right.
He was Jimmy G, so he did nothing out of the ordinary to me. But the Cowboys also, if you want to really think about it, did nothing out of the ordinary. Started off slow, tried to come back hot, a ton of penalties.
And we even questioned earlier in the game them deferring. They win the toss and they deferred to the second half, which was mind-boggling me. You're at home. You score 36 points a game at home. You know that you needed to come out and set the tone and at least score first, so that now you put the Niners at a disadvantage, and you gave them the ball and they went down. They ran the ball down your throat. You weren't ready. You literally weren't ready for the first drive of the game. They ran the ball down your throat and scored a touchdown, and now they put you on the defensive. So it just, even from the start of this game, it just felt like the Cowboys weren't in the proper sync, weren't in the proper rhythm, didn't have the right mindset. And again, there were moments in the game, and you still
had a shot.
Like
we're talking about everything that's leading up to that final drive, but to keep it a 100, that last play was unbelievable. It was ridiculous.
Stupid.
It was ridiculous, and somebody's head has to roll. Not just from that call, obviously, right? But I look at the game plan. Who did we say needed to touch the ball in this game?
Tony Pollard and Amari Cooper.
Tony Pollard, 4 rushes, 2 receptions. One of the receptions was on the final drive. Tony Pollard had 5 touches going into the final drive of the game. CeeDee Lamb, 1 catch.
Wow.
On the final, I believe, drive of the game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Okay. Amari Cooper, 6 receptions on the entire evening. I kept trying to give Kellen a shot to see, okay, maybe these things that are in the tuck or the game plan will show. But there was no game plan out there to me. There was no game plan out there to me. Get him out of here, man. Yo.
And the disappointing part in this, as you were saying, for Kellen Moore, this was we laughed about it for weeks upon weeks upon weeks when, people said that they were holding plays back and they were.
Where was that?
Where was that? Like there was nothing that we saw today that showed me Kellen Moore in his bag.
This play was ran on the last series of the game. Wasn't running a single time before that.
And so for me, you can call Kellen Moore boy genius and the next guy up. This guy, I'm questioning him as being as an offensive coordinator, but to be a head coach, which takes on a much larger role, if someone wants to pay him the money and give them responsibility,
oh, for sure,
I kind of just say, you know what? We might have stopped you from going to Boise a year ago. We ain't stopping you now.
100%.
We're not stopping you now. So, because Micah talked about it, being legendary. This goes for coaches as well. We watched it last night with the Buffalo Bills. Leslie Frazier and Brian Dable, they put their mark on that game. And if those guys want to go out and be head coaches somewhere to shut the Patriots out and then defensively and then blow them out offensively, you really put your name out there as being a candidate. For Kellen Moore, I don't see him as a candidate that's going to go out there and really wow people and turn heads. But if somebody wants to give him that, please, by all means, have him.
More weird decision making here. I don't know if this falls on Bones or this falls on Coach McCarthy. After the fake punt, which, I don't know how they didn't see that coming.
Yeah, that was wild.
But the fake punt, what was that about? I mean, you've been in the special teams rooms. Was that to try to get them to burn one?
Yeah, we talked about it, and I was saying, like, what took them so long? If you were going to make that switch, make the switch because you already got the first down, so keeping your punting team out there.
Yeah, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Okay, they're not burning the timeout. Let's go.
Why would I burn a timeout when the guy standing behind there is a
punter and a receiver?
Right. Like, if you're going to go there, then cool. Go there, and we'll live whatever that happens. We're not burning the timeout. And the Cowboys made that late shift. And again, you can say the ref got in the way or whatever you want to say, but
that was weird. But
that was just a weird series of events that happened on that particular play. But all in all, there were moments in this game where the Cowboys.
What was it? A minute something left. They had a chance to go down and score. Again, weird stuff. They get a couple big plays. Big play to Schultz. Back those to Schultz, get a big play, and then we hurry up to get up there and run a play before the 2-minute warning. He takes a sack. Boom. Now it's 2nd and 11 on the other side of the 2-minute warning.
Right.
Why not gather yourself, go into the 2 minutes, and run? I said this a bunch of times. Run your game winners.
Right.
These are your best plays right here.
The ones that you were holding on to all season.
Whatever ones you had in the tuck, that's in the bag, that's still in the clip that hasn't been shot.
I can't believe people really were saying that. I can't believe it.
They made it believe. Even Dak kind of hinted to it when I think it was Jory or it might have been Breonna Dix that said, hey, is this the week that we see some of yada yada? And Dak said, well, why would I say that? They could be listening to this and that. So I'm like, oh, well, maybe there is something. And Chris Arnold came out and said, yeah, we're going to have stuff. They're going to have stuff. I'm being told for Tony Pollard, 6 touches. And then, again, you have the opportunity. We talked about, hey, man, you want to be put in the elite category at the final drive of the final drive of the game. This is your opportunity, Dak. And, hell, I don't know how the hell he got the ball up, but he got the ball up, didn't convert, and I thought that was game time right there, but they eventually got the ball back again. But overall, he didn't have a great game. He was 23 for 43, 254. He threw a bad interception with obviously more pressure. He couldn't handle the pressure today. And when I say the pressure, I don't mean the game pressure. I mean the actual pressure.
And one of my keys to the game, my first
you kept telling me through. Go ahead.
My first key to the game, I've been saying this all the first when I turned on the film, the first thing I saw.
Interior, boy.
The first thing I saw, there was 2 things I saw when I first turned on the film. I said, wow, Nick Bosa has a crazy get off. And the second thing I said was, this Eric Armstead kid is going to.
And Jones.
I just saw how they kept recreating the line of scrimmage. And when you and we'll talk throughout the week. You and I always do. We text back and forth to each other. When you go back and you watch this film tonight, 5 sacks,
ton of hurries,
ton of knockdowns. His completion percentage was it under
low 50? I think.
Low, yeah,
just almost around 50.
Around 50%, and a lot of that had to do with they were getting pressure right up the middle. And when Dak has to roll out to either way, left or right, now what you've done is you've cut half the field off that he can actually work with, and you make the throws more difficult. I've always said that Dak, he isn't the most accurate passer when it comes to off-platform throws. He makes some really good ones, but consistently,
you want him to move, right?
You want him to move. You don't want him in the pocket to be comfortable, to be steady, and deliver the ball down the field. But I said it in the pregame show. I said center to left guard.
Stadium is coming.
Center to left guard, and they were the problem all day
Let's
today.
just say the whole freaking left side, man.
Yes.
Like I'm not like Tyron. This was the worst game I've ever seen from Tyron Smith. I don't think that's even a hyperbole. I don't think I've ever seen him get worked the way he got worked by a bunch of people over there. I don't even know all the names. There was so many people over there that got worked. Offensive line is likely going to be a very high value position to target in this offseason. I think you do have some in-house situations. I think you can move Lyle Collins into guard and then Terrence Steele at right tackle. I don't know what you do at the left. Now, that's off-season stuff. I mean, he looks hurt, and he's always going to get hurt. But that's
that window we talked about, right? Tyron gets another year older. Lyle, another year older. We don't know. Zach Martin, another year older. While he's still, first-team All-Pro, every year you get a little bit older, those bones don't recover as quickly. That body doesn't recover as quickly. So there's a bunch of guys who've gotten a year older and missed this opportunity. This was an opportunity of a lifetime because
you're not guaranteed to come back here next year.
No, we said in the pregame show you had the number one scoring offense in the NFL. You had the number one takeaway defense in the NFL. You're going to lose, if not both, one of your coordinators, Kellen Moore or Dan Quinn. The roster will be changed. It's inevitable.
30%,
Minimum 30 to 35% of this roster will be changed from next year. You might lose Michael Gallup. You might lose Cedric Wilson. There are a bunch of guys on one-year contracts. Your Javon Curses, your Malik Hookers, your Kazeez.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Brent Urban didn't come back.
There's a ton of guys on one-year contracts. Randy Gregory.
Schultz,
all of these guys are out there and saying, hey, if the Cowboys don't give me some bread, I'll go get the bread somewhere else. So this roster will be forever changed going forward, and you don't know. You read an article earlier by John Machota. Your head coach might be gone.
I mean, I don't think he did a bunch to give you – I hate to say this because I thought McCarthy, up until this point, kind of managed the entire season. We talked about it. I think he managed the entire season well. Yeah. You figured coming into this game they would leave nothing out there. I felt like they left
a ton.
So much.
A ton.
So much out there. And I have to keep going back to it, but the penalties and the sacks absolutely wrecked you offensively. You were in – how many times did we see 1st and 15, 2nd and 20, 2nd and 25? I mean, that's a drive killer. Period.
They are.
In fact, I believe you had before the interception, was a sack or was it a fumble or was it a penalty? I think you had a penalty, sack pick, or a sack and right after it, interception.
Right.
Killers. You shouldn't win a game, and kudos to the 49ers, by the way, to sticking to what they do. They ran the ball 38 times. Well, 37 times. Jimmy Garoppolo's
the
last one. 37 times in this game.
And Kyle
169 yards.
And Kyle Shanahan said it. He said, if we get 30 rushes,
we feel like we're going to win.
We feel like we're in a good position to win the football game.
And what do we say about Jimmy? You want Jimmy to throw it 30 times. He guarantee you, if you made Jimmy throw the ball 5 more times in this game, and they don't rush the ball 5 more times, you could be taking away a touchdown, you could be taking away a first down. That can be the difference in this ball
game. And this is like this 25 attempt for Jimmy Garoppolo.
That's where they want him.
That's where they want him.
He hasn't thrown for over 25 attempts in his entire postseason career yet.
They want Jimmy Garoppolo in that 20 to 23. 25 is getting a little bit too much for them. This is where they want him at. And I promise you, if we go back and look at kind of the chart on, where were his throws, there wasn't a ton of big throws. Even his throws that he completed, there was a couple maybe 10, 15 yarders, but he wasn't taking shots.
There was one shot, and that was because Diggs, for whatever reason, inexplicably bit. with the help underneath and
Right.
got wide open.
Right.
These receivers, that's what they do, but they're mostly yak.
Yes.
And I thought for the most part they did okay with the yak stuff. It was on the ground where they just could not tackle. And this team, we said it all week on the show, you got to tackle. This team will, if you don't tackle, they'll turn a 3-yarder into 7.
Yeah.
They'll turn a 7 into 20. And that's kind of what happened here on the ground. And then offensively, again, shout out to the 49ers defense. That they stuck to what they do. They didn't go out of their bag. They said, you know what, we're going to play a lot of zone. We're going to rush with 4. Dink yourself down the field. Let me pull it up here.
The one time they went
5.9 yards per pass attempt.
The one time they went to a single high defense, they got touchdown.
And then when they went to it again on listen to this, y'all. 3rd and 4. They got the look. They got single high. Dak would have Mari Cooper or somebody's going to be one-on-one. Full start.
Mm-hmm. All
right, now we're 3rd and 9. Full start. All right, now we're 3rd and 14. What? I mean, you can't have that. That's a drive killer. 3rd and 14 against a zone defense that's going to rally and tackle.
And who was getting pressure with their front 4.
Getting pressure with the front 4. I mean, not only did the Niners beat you, because I'm not going to say you beat yourselves, I'm going to say the Niners beat you in this game. You also beat yourself.
Yes.
I think this is going to sting this organization in the offseason. I think this is going to sting Jerry. And trust and believe me when I say this, it would not shock me if he made a move out of emotion from this game.
You would hope that Jerry has matured and Stevens has helped him mature enough to not make irrational, emotional decisions at this point in time. I get the frustration.
Yeah.
I do. Like you had a perfect situation, right? You face a team at home who
beatable team.
Extremely
look.
Beatable team. An extremely beatable team who, for the most part, you knew exactly what they wanted to do.
And they did it.
And
you survived it for most of the game, and you had your opportunities, but you just kept shooting yourself in the foot, and they made you do that.
But that has been the Dallas Cowboys all year long.
How fitting, right? How fitting.
And I hate to even bring his name up and one of his sayings up, but damn it, it's true. And Stephen A, he'll say it all day tomorrow.
Accident waiting to happen.
Accident waiting to happen. What can go wrong will go wrong. The one thing that we didn't need to happen today was to have 14 penalties.
Absolutely not.
Like, that was the one thing that if coming to this game, you say, fellas, let's have a clean football game. We can't have this thing go for 14 penalties for almost 90 yards. Like, that is not something you want to have. So it's fitting because that's what this team has been all year. It's frustrating because if you had to bring one thing, if you had to put one crown on the head of Mike McCarthy, I'd put undisciplined football teams on the head coach.
If it was one, honestly, I'm going to be real with you. If it was one thing in this game coming into it, you had multiple deficiencies, stopping the run and penalties and things like that. But if you told me you can come into this game and have a shot after they ran the ball for 169 yards, I'd say, listen, if we can play a clean game, I'll take my chances. Because I've seen it too many times this year in close games, you've shot yourself in the foot or a penalty killed you. Even if you didn't, quote-unquote, deserve to win, you had a shot until you shot yourself in the foot. And it's going to be something all offseason that they're going to talk about. And, yeah, you got to look at the coach. I know, and I say this all the time, about how I'm not always going to look at the refs because I don't think we're ever going to get the benefit of the doubt in Dallas. Not going to happen, right?
Well, you can't when you've been this undisciplined all year long.
And then out of the 14 penalties, I'd say, this is just guessing, at least half of them were self-inflicted.
Yeah.
Pre-snap stuff. Holdings that were obvious holdings, right?
Blatant.
Hands to the face.
Blatant block in the back. You get a 40-yard return, great field position. A bad play on special team. You talk about reloading the clip. We reload the clip and shoot ourselves. Like, we shoot ourselves. We empty the clip on ourselves, reload it, and continue to shoot ourselves some more. Yeah. And if I don't want to say this out of emotion.
And right after the game, though, that's what it is.
But
at this point.
this Cowboys team was just a good football team. It wasn't a great football team. They had great spots. They had some great players.
Talent.
But they've always had great players.
That's kind of the.
They've always had great players, right? Micah is a phenomenal. Micah
played good today, man.
Micah is Micah. Okay,
Yeah.
that's Micah. He's already on the one name basis. You know what I'm saying? You would have loved to see more out of Dak Prescott.
Absolutely.
Like you just would have. You would have loved to see more out of him in these moments, but this wasn't a great football team. I know they had a 12-5 record coming into this game. I know they scored a ton of points coming into these games. You know, you can say whatever you want about that Washington game and that Philadelphia game where they were able to put up some points, that Atlanta game, but overall, when you had to go
get it,
when you had to go and really make a statement, when you had to go and let your nuts hang a little bit, drop your nuts, they tucked them.
And that's from top to bottom, by the way.
Absolutely.
You know, top to bottom.
Absolutely.
You know, you talk about it a lot. Sometimes you gotta coach a win here and there, and then I always rebut with, yeah, you're right. But once I realize this ain't the coaching win type of game, now I need my players to overcome it. And I needed Dak Prescott to overcome it. I needed Ezekiel Elliott to overcome it. I needed DeMarcus Lawrence, Randy. I needed y'all now to go out here and, like you said, let your nuts hang.
Right.
This is one of those times where, listen, they're not going to win this game for you. With Shanahan, well-coached game.
Yep.
Even in spots where we were like, hey, man, what you doing? I still think he dialed up a really good game. He stuck to what he did. He has an identity. What is the Cowboys' identity?
They have a collection of plays.
Okay.
Offensively,
just
offensively.
as a team in general, right? Like, what is the identity?
But I'll say offensively, they had no identity.
No.
They had no identity.
Purposefully.
Like,
purposefully. That's what the cute stuff kills me, because you want to come out here and be a reactionary offense, sometimes that'll get you. When teams like the Niners will say, hey, this is what we do it at such a high level.
Right.
And inside of what we do, we have counters. I don't know what the Dallas Cowboys do.
And then defensively, this defense was never a quote-unquote physical defense. You had some physical guys.
Sure.
This defense was a
opportunistic
go and make the turnovers to help you out. But this was never a
no.
This defense was never a we gonna punch you in the mouth.
Bears, man.
No.
Buccaneers.
They were saying that this was a pass rush. We're going to pass rush you with our defensive ends. We're going to insert Micah Parsons in that, and then we're going to create so much pressure on your quarterback is that you're going to have to throw one up, and we're going to go and get an interception, a tip ball, whatever it may be, some sacks. That's what this was defensively.
And with that said, if you would have told me 49ers going to score 23 points,
yep,
I'd have said I feel good about the opportunity and the
especially
chance.
At home.
That's what I'm saying. If you'd have told me coming into this game, 49ers are going to score 23 points. Jimmy's going to throw you a pick, complete, decent completion percentage, 172 interception. Yes, they ran the ball, but if you'd have told me that, hey man, salute.
Salute to you, brother.
Y'all played y'all game and played a great game.
And
salute to y'all.
You know what's one stat that we have not talked about?
What's that one?
Dak was sacked 5 times for 40 yards lost.
40 yards.
Jimmy G.
I see where you're going.
No sacks.
0 sacks.
0 sacks on Jimmy G. 0 sacks on Jimmy G. So you talk about.
Hey, yo, got it, man. Not a chance. I will give y'all shot. I'll give y'all. I'm not saying that though, but y'all balled out, man. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations, man.
Y'all know our saying here. You win, you can talk.
Yo, you win, you can talk.
No,
I can't do that to you either.
We ain't doing that either. But you talked about identity, right? And I said this team was a pass rush team and opportunistic on the back end. You got the one pick. You got 0 sacks on Jimmy G. 0 sacks on him.
I tell you one thing you couldn't do. You couldn't rush. You couldn't allow the opposing team to rush for $170, and then you get 0 sacks.
Yeah.
Like, you had to be a factor in the pass rush game, and I felt like it was mediocre. It picked up. Like, it started to pick up. Don't get me wrong, but you needed that thing to be there if you were going to get run on all game. So, the Niners came out and did exactly what they do all year, run the ball, play solid defense.
They were balanced.
Get out of here.
They were balanced. 38 rushes, 25 passes. That is the balance that San Francisco wants to have.
Dallas, once again, I say this, you cannot win. You cannot go in the postseason and win 4 games in a row throwing the ball 43 times a game. We didn't even say anything about the rushing. 21 rushes, which, CeeDee Lamb, they call that a rush. So 20 rushes, 72 yards. Dak Prescott had 27 of them.
But not only that.
So take that away.
So you're talking about rushing for 2-point-something yards a carry.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, do you want to take away all of Dak's rushes? Because let's be real. That last one got him about 17 yards or whatever the hell it was.
Right.
You take away Dak's rushing yards, you're down to under 50? You're talking about 16 carries from your running backs for less than, 40 yards or something like that?
Yeah, that's criminal.
32 yards, so it was 44 yards.
And the one guy who you should have gotten the ball to had 4 carries.
6 touches total. Forget that last one at the end. 5 touches total. Again, players got to play and everything like that, but is that not coaching malpractice?
Yes.
I don't understand it.
Like Kellen, unload the clip, brother.
Deliberately get them to run. And here's another thing I give, and maybe this is something they'll come out and they'll talk about. Did my man have a catch today?
Who?
George Kittle?
I think he had one. He had one for 18
catch.
yards.
And I think low key, it might have been more purposeful. Not saying they wanted him to only get 1 catch, but I think, and I said this during the week, George Kittle's a weapon in the passing game, but he's a weapon in the running game.
Yeah.
And if we go back and watch this tape later, they said it a few times. He was blocking his ass off.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they went to this game and said, and Shanahan said, hey, but listen, this might not be your game,
right,
but that's okay. This team gives up the 3rd most yards when we do motion. This team isn't so high on the ground. We can win this game without targeting you 10 times. But what I need you to do, Kittle, go block your ass off.
And the crazy
I'm not
part
saying
about
no deliberate, but
no, you're right on key because
he had 1 target.
George Kittle, before he came into this monster that he is, he was a blocking tight. He wasn't even the number 1 option when he was at Iowa. He was a blocking tight end. I know this for a fact because I have a personal relationship with George Kittle.
Didn't you?
I trained
him
George Kittle when he came out of college and his first year or so in the league. He evolved into a pass catching threat.
The best. I think he's the best tight end in the league. I think best tight end in the league, man, because he can do both things at an elite level.
Might have something to say in
Travis
that.
might be the best receiving tight end, and
okay.
even then,
so you're saying overall?
Yeah. Who else is elite like that?
I got you. So for George Kittle, it's like to go in there and block a linebacker or defensive end. Like he's built for that. He's like, I've done this my whole career at Iowa, and that's in him. And then I can break out and make a play when I need to make a play. So what you're saying is not too far-fetched where Kyle might have been like.
I think Kyle might have been like,
listen, bro, I need athlete on athlete to. You may not win all the time with Micah Parsons, but I need you to get in the way. I need you to slow him down because athletically, not too many offensive linemen can get to the second level.
I don't think there's one in the league that can fool with him one-on-one.
So how do I combat that? I take athlete and I say, just go mess with him. Just be in front of him, make him run around you.
Just create car accidents. Right. And that's what they did. And that's, again, I go to coaching.
Right.
I would like for once to have some type of edge or some type of coaching advantage or.
We haven't had that since the 90s. We haven't had that since Jimmy Johnson.
It felt like the Cowboys it was going to be that way, and then out of nowhere, offensively at least, they just flipped it. I mean, Dan Quinn, I tip my hat to him. It was tough. He knew it was going to be tough in this game. He knew he was coming in, given the cards he was dealt. This was not a run-stopping defense.
But like you said, if I would have told you that the Niners were only going to score 23 points against your offense at home who scores 36, you say, right, I'll take it.
I mean, that's why I'm not getting on Quinn too much with this one. They had one real drive for a touchdown.
That was the opening drive.
Opening drive.
Yep.
Other touchdown, interception. They get the ball in the red zone. Next play, tutty on a Shanahan special.
Debo Samuels.
On a Shanahan special. Yep. Other than that, it was, they were getting these some clutch first downs on third down. Yeah, but kick field goal. Right. The defense eventually nutted up and held them to a field goal. Offensively, you never got in a rhythm. And you just never really showed me that the game plan was rhythmic except one time. And that's when you came out with that Hawk stuff. And you must got – maybe the whole getting in your bag was the Hawk package. He ran that 3 times today.
Yeah.
All outside the red zone, by the way. And I called it right away. I said, they're calling this Hawk play again. They're going to play action and send 2 people into 5 different coverage, 5 people in defenses, and nothing came of it. So I would love to pluck somebody from the Shanahan tree. I said that this week. I said, I don't think it's Kellen.
Who's the guy, Michael McDaniels?
They ain't letting him go. I'm telling you right now. I think Shanahan going to keep him. Mike McDaniels is a phenomenal mind. You can hear it, right? I know Sean McVay was the hot – I'm telling you, man, it's really this scheme. This is the scheme you want to pluck.
Yeah.
This is the one because it's so interchangeable. And you have a counter to it within the play. Jimmy just Jimmy.
Just imagine if he was actually a good quarterback.
If Jimmy was a really good quarterback, this offense would be almost unstoppable, man. Seriously. So kudos, 49er fans. Your team came out, handled business. I know I'm going to see some of these 49er fans in the chat tomorrow. And, hey, I just like this show on the postgame show, you win, you can call in, you can come in and talk your mess.
Yeah.
You can talk your mess. So shout out to you guys. Going to be a long offseason for the Dallas Cowboys, and we're going to have a lot to talk about.
Just briefly, like before we go, when you look at what was your overall assessment of this team this year? Like if you had to put a bow on it, what was this team this year, and what do you think that they need to go and do in the offseason to find themselves, I guess, poised for an opportunity to go win?
To get back to this point and have a chance to win
not
the Super
this
Bowl.
Point, because I don't want to lose
back to the playoffs, I'm sorry. Back to the playoffs. Oh, without thinking deep, overall assessment of the team was this was a tale of 2 halves, literally. Literally a tale of 2 halves. First half of the season, this looked like one of those teams that could make a deep run. Second half of the season, I think they finished 5 losses. 5 losses.
Yeah.
5 losses.
4.
5, because including this one.
Okay, including this one. Okay, gotcha, yes.
5 losses,
yes,
including in the playoffs, and the offense looked just like this for most of those losses, right? So with that said, I think you need to retool this scheme. You need to retool it because it's clear defenses had an answer and you didn't. Now, I don't know if that's going to mean an entirely different offense coordinator. I don't know if that means Kellen's your head coach. I don't know if that means Kellen sticks around, but you need to retool it. And I'm just talking schematically. Personnel-wise, there's little bits and pieces that we can continue. Left guard, offensive line, right? What do you do at the safety position? Linebacker. You're going to need some linebackers. By the way, shout out to Leighton Vander Esch. I thought he played a hell of a game today.
Leighton Vander Esch made the biggest play of his career on that third down stop to Debo Samuels. The pass
turned
play.
into a 4th and 6 because of the false start.
Yes.
So,
that was the biggest play he made.
Listen, swan song. That don't mean I want you back. I'm just saying, you had a swan song. If they do bring him back on a short deal, on a small deal, it is what it is.
I doubt it.
But I need to get some more athletic guys in here. I got a feeling you lose Quinn, so you got to find out how do you replace him, and you need to make sure that replacement utilizes Micah Parsons in a similar way. Don't box that man. But I know this is right after, and there's a lot of emotion, but disappointed is the word I'm going to use.
You and I had back and forth conversations all year long, and almost even mini arguments. Not when I say mini, I mean M-I-N-I, mini, not mini. We had mini small
debates. No, we had debates.
We had debates, yeah. But when we talked about the elite category for quarterback.
No, I can't put him in there after the season, man.
Okay.
I mean, that's just keep it a bean. That's one thing I do on my channel. I can't. Like, an opportunity.
Right.
Like this, if you wanted to argue it the last 7 games or whatever, that was fair. But this was the time to shut that argument up.
Right.
So now we go back into the season. Yeah, you got a top 10 Q, but you have a Q that can take over the game when you need him to take over the game. In spots, sure, but not. I mean, how do you come off of this game and say yes at this moment?
What happened to Dak? Because he was good in spots.
I don't have that answer.
But at times he seemed confused. At times he seemed a little bit kind of off. What word am I looking for? Off schedule.
I think the confusing part is again a hat tip to coordinators responding to your scheme. If you go back and watch the first 7-8 games of the year, I think teams were playing different. And we always joke about Vic Fangio. It wasn't a blueprint thing. He was right what he said.
Yeah.
Teams weren't playing Dallas the right way. They did. Whatever. You got us, Vic, right? I thought, because I didn't have another reason to believe that we didn't, because Kellen had been killing it, that there would be some type of adjustment to it. Your OC didn't adjust and your Q didn't adjust.
Right.
And you can't have both of those things happening. Right? Like, again, it goes back to, all right, man, if my coaching staff is not going to get it done, I need you. And I've been saying this for years. I've been saying this since Tony.
Right.
If I don't have the faith in my coaching staff to get it done, then I need my Q or my team, whatever, to get it done. And Dak didn't. So I think it's fair to be down on him. I don't question him as a franchise quarterback, but I think it's fair right off of this game, emotions are high, to feel down on what you saw today.
So with that being said, my next question, because, and again, people understand, like, this is raw emotion. We're just coming off a loss, and we're just having a conversation and a discussion. When you look at Dak Prescott, is this the guy that can take you to the promised land? Because the thing that I was more so disappointed about in him this year,
Jimmy Garoppolo was in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but it wasn't because of Jimmy Garoppolo.
But that's what I'm saying. So, of course, I think he can take us to the promised land.
But Bill Belichick said good players can't overcome bad coaching. That's from Bill. Bill said that. So,
yeah, but you got to here.
Right.
You have to.
And that's my question is, in year 6, this is the time of a quarterback's career when you're supposed to be able to take over a game, even if your coaching is bad.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I've seen him do it. I mean, this isn't like we haven't seen Dak do it.
No,
Dak's done it.
Right.
But in this spot, this was the opportunity to. The other years, that wasn't Dak. We're not trying to put the game on Dak. You didn't want Dak throwing in 2016 40 times to try to win you the game. You don't want to do that. Even in 2018, I wouldn't even say, Dak Prescott, I want you to go out here and win all these games on your arm. You wasn't ready for that opportunity. Year 6, yes. So coming off this game, I think it's totally fair to feel down on him.
And let me
do I think he can take you to the? Do I think he is a good enough quarterback? Yes, without a doubt, I think he is.
And let me preface this by saying, I'm not putting this all on Dak, but we all know at the end of the day, it comes down. This is the quarterback league.
Yeah, sure.
It comes down to, can your quarterback do enough to get you to that? This is why they pay guys. This is why Patrick Mahomes got $500 million. This is why Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. This is why the QB is the most paid, the highest paid player on your football team for these moments.
Yeah. There's two sides to it, but no one's going to want to hear it after this game, right? All these quarterbacks that win, they win because they have a collective team effort in getting them to win. And if you're going to have to rely on your quarterback, I said this is not a joke, run it back. I said you're not going to win in the postseason if Dak Prescott has to throw the ball 40-plus times every single game. I said that. And that wasn't a knock on Dak. It's just that in the postseason, you can't do that.
Right.
You just can't do it. And I maybe, as being a fan, I felt confident in maybe they'll turn it on somehow, some way. This looked exactly like the offense that struggled against good teams. This looked exactly like the quarterback that struggled against good defenses down the stretch here. Nothing changed.
And for me, with this Cowboys team, looking at next year, if Kellen Moore is gone, if Mike McCarthy is gone,
well, that's a hell of a wholesale change.
And that's my thing. Is now you're talking about, like, because like Mike is still employed here, right? Like he has a contract.
For now.
For now. and you talk about Dan Quinn and Kellen Moore and saying, you know,
I don't think Quinn's going to be here, man.
I don't think so either. But
unless.
But I also don't think.
Head coach, but anyway.
I also don't think Kellen Moore is going to. And here's why.
Here's why. Okay with that. But anyway.
Here's why. I think Kellen Moore is starting to look around and say, if I don't start taking some of these head coaching jobs,
I might not get one.
I might not get one anymore. Because if I'm looking at my second half of the season this year, they kind of figured me out.
He's still getting these interviews, though.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And that's the part about, like, you know, Dan Quinn has been a former head coach. He put together one of the best defenses the Cowboys have had in years. I get the interest from him.
And he can win the locker room. He can win. I mean, yes, totally good.
And people, it's like the Belichick situation, right? People always want Belichick disciples, hoping one day that they'll actually get Bill Belichick. But
they always go for the defensive guys for the most part.
What they fail to realize is
those
guys don't come with Bill Belichick. They come by themselves. They don't bring the 7 rings or the 8 rings or 10 rings, whatever he got. They don't bring that.
I mean, there's been a few. Mike Vrabel, I don't think anyone's going to complain about Vrabel.
No.
I don't think anybody's going to complain about Flores.
Miami didn't think so. You know what I'm saying?
But we know that was ridiculous.
Right.
That wasn't because he was bad. I think.
I mean, but you got your Romeo Cornell, you got your Mangini. I mean, there's about 7 other ones that, you know what I'm saying? Joe Judges, McDaniel. I mean, there's a ton of them. For Kellen Moore, I think he may jump on one of these jobs if the opportunity presents itself.
But is that a bad thing, though, for the Cowboys?
But that's my question. If he does, what does his offense look like?
Are you talking about like a different scheme?
Right.
Again, is that a bad thing?
I don't know. You change it. Now Dak learns a new scheme in year 7?
I'd rather him learn a new scheme in year 7 than year 2 and 3. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather that because he understands the game more. I don't question his IQ. Most coaches that go up against Dak always praise his IQ. He understands football. So I welcome change offensively, and I've been welcoming it. I have, man. So what if it's Nuss, though? Then there's not going to be much change.
Right.
It'd just be
or McAdoo.
Or McAdoo, or if it's your boy Mike, you know,
which I would love.
But it could be the same. If it's Mike, though, I would imagine there'd be some different things. But man, this again raw.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to rewatch it, but I'm just thinking off the top of my head. I just don't think I saw many pulls. I don't think I saw them attack the edges. I don't think I saw anything really creative. It just seemed extremely, once again, reactionary. And then you got put behind the chains. And once you get put behind the chains, I mean, again. 2nd and 25s.
Ain't no place for that.
2nd and 25, fam. Like, yeah, I know Aaron Rodgers is freaky, but 2nd and 25, oh, fam, I just drop back, go sick you with my 4.
Right.
That's tough. So to wrap all that part of it up,
I got one more.
About the coach. I would welcome a change schematically. I think maybe it's needed in this organization.
What do you do with Zeke Elliott next year?
Let me real quick. Give a hat tip to him. He's a warrior. He played through a PCL tear. I did see that pop up. So Zeke played with the PCL tear. With that said, if he played with a PCL tear, why the hell was he getting the ball 12 times? But whatever.
They told us it was a bone bruise. I told you that weeks ago.
Yeah, we were kind of laughing at.
I said
a bruise
bone bruise with a knee brace. That makes no sense.
And didn't we say it's going to come out after the season? I don't know if he tore it in that game, but they said he played with it. Nobody's going to like to hear this. You have to consider. I don't know what the ramifications are, cap-wise, but you almost have to consider it, man. You do. He's a warrior, man. He's been the face of this team for a while offensively. Do you think that he's that game-changing running back anymore? He made a great play blocking.
Great play.
Great play on the block. I don't think he finished besides that Eagles game. And can we just throw all that out? I mean, yeah, they got the records and things like that. But aside from the Eagles game, he didn't finish with more than 50 yards or 52 yards the last 7, 8, 9 games in the season.
Yep.
running backs don't have the tendency to get better health-wise with age.
And he's coming up on year 7.
Year 7 with a ridiculous amount of carries. It is something you consider, especially when I thought that Tony Pollard was the most efficient back that you had. And, again, I call it malpractice. You didn't give him the ball more, especially now finding out he had a PCL tear, and he got 6 touches today by Tony Pollard. So I don't know if you cut him. Maybe you go to him and ask him to take a discount. Maybe you go to ask him to move some money, which they've done. But if you move money, that's kicking it down the road, right?
Right.
That's a tough. It's a tough one in the grand. And when you think of it, oh, Dallas Cowboys, Ezekiel Elliott, run the ball, But I'm watching young bucks come into this league, man. Elijah Mitchell's a 6th-round pick. I ask you, Cowboys Nation, who would you rather have, Elijah Mitchell or Ezekiel Elliott this year after you saw about how they both ran?
Right.
Jonathan Taylor's a 2nd-round pick. These guys come out the league every single year, man. Every single year. So I'd look into it. What'd you do with them?
Yeah, for me, it would have to be we make a move. Like, there has to be some serious consideration on what you do with an aging running back.
Running back.
Skills have
diminished.
Let's
be real, man.
Like, let's call it what it is.
There was a play where I was like, Zeke, why did you fall?
He gave himself up.
You gave yourself up as if this was a quarterback slide.
Yeah.
And in a game of inches and 1 yard, you can't be like, up, 2nd and 1, cool. No, old Zeke touch that ball in and fights for more yardage. And he didn't even have to fight, bro. Just dip your head first down. So it's clear. I know we thought it went away because at the beginning of the year, he looked, oh, man, he's shifty, man. Zeke back. But you know who never loses, what do they say?
Father time.
Father time.
Undefeated.
And Father time with running backs is on fast forward.
Yes.
So, yeah, I look for him to move.
Yeah, and that's why I say this team is going to look different next year. Michael Gallup may not be here next year. Sid Wilson may not be here next year. Here's another thing. Amari Cooper may not be here next year. I think the way that this year ended,
unless he don't want to be here.
Boom.
Okay.
I think the way that this year ended, and take it for whatever you want to take it. When I listen to those Amari Cooper press conferences the last 4 or 5 weeks,
he's frustrated.
He is extremely frustrated. And I like to believe after you look at this game.
And 6 receptions. Got the touchdown.
You got the touchdown, but
how many times did they go back to him after that touchdown? I don't know. I'm seriously asking. I don't know.
Not many.
That's what I'm saying.
And so, when you look at that, you're saying, well, the same quarterback may come back, the same offense may come back. And you look around this league and you're saying
a Linehan-Dez situation. Not as toxic. But a situation where Dez didn't want Linehan didn't want Dez. I like a lot of people in that Cowboys offense didn't want Linehan. I mean, we saw Coach Beasley, what he said when he left.
Right.
But I don't think it's as toxic because I think Kellen is liked to an extent because he's not a bad guy.
And Amari's not an aggressive dude. He's not a controversial, aggressive dude. So, he does his kind of thing in silence. And he'll give you a sophisticated answer that's really just tearing a new one in you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there may be some frustration. There may be some frustration there with Amari Cooper.
You brought up Michael Gallup, and we all were confident that Sid Wilson could step in and blah 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 blah. He had his moments. He had some bad moments. I thought CeeDee Lamb would have his moments. He didn't. There was a play though in this game at the end of the game that I said, "Damn, if that was Michael Gallup." I think he makes the catch. 4th and 11. They send the blitz. They get at Dak Prescott right away. Dak does enough to give him a shot. Mm-hmm. I think Mike makes that catch.
And it's possible. We've seen him make some tremendous
ridiculous catches
before. And
I see other teams just throwing up. Remember I said that? I said when it was one of those situations like 4th and 7 and I think they kicked the field goal 4th and 5, and I'm like, just throw it up. If it's a pick, it's a punt.
And here's the crazy part about it: the Niners were the most penalized defensive pass interference in the league.
Throw it up at all.
Their defensive backs were penalized the most this season on defensive pass interference, and we didn't even take a shot.
Not until they got in cover one, and they took the shot. But again, there are opportunities, and I'm sure we'll go back and we'll see some all-22, and we'll probably see some things that Dak missed and things like that. But aside from the 5 sacks, I wonder how many pressures it was that took him off a spot.
There were over 10 pressures.
That might be on the low side.
It was
rough.
It was like 8 at halftime.
It was pretty rough up front, and again, that's one of the things you got to revisit. But just an overall great effort and execution, I think, from the Niners. But it's kind of funny because their Achilles heel happens to be penalties and almost lost them that game too.
Right.
But they were able to overcome it. The Cowboys were not. Here we are. It's going to be a long season, Jesse. All season. Long off season. But, man, this has been
brother.
First year of this.
This is our first year.
I think first of many, I hope.
Absolutely.
You know, hopefully Texas Live has us back next year. I think they will. I think they enjoyed having us. We have nothing but love from Texas Live. Was hoping this wouldn't be the last one. You know, was hoping it wouldn't be the last one. But, hey, man, maybe we'll do some draft things here. I don't know. But I think there's some other things in the works with Texas Live and A to Z. But I know dang on well there's things in the works between yourself and I, bro.
Absolutely.
It's been great, man. Having your knowledge on this show and just off air as well. And then, like I said, your brotherhood has been just a blessing.
Thank you, man.
You've helped make this transition to Dallas for me so much better.
And likewise, man, just being able to be around you. And you keep me on my toes. Like I'm like, I gotta come
back.
You know, I'm like, I gotta come with it because I'm like, he not gonna let me get away with no lazy stuff. He not gonna let me just say nothing and just take it for what it is. He's gonna challenge me, and it's like I gotta make sure I'm on my film study and all that kind of stuff. So
we pushed each other for sure.
We pushed each other for sure. You definitely the old lion. You definitely the young cub has pushed the old lion, but it's made me better. And this friendship and this brotherhood that we've bonded with this year has been tremendous. I tell everybody when they first come, like, this dude is one of the most talented humans I've ever been around. Think about that. I've been on this earth for a nice
that's heavy.
Couple years.
I'm a humble dude, man. The compliments, but that's heavy, man.
Bro, you are one of the most talented from top to bottom to be able to do what you do production-wise, to be able to do with audio and sound and visual, and then come and bring the heat.
That's what I really try to pride myself on.
What the conversation is, being able
content,
to, like, the content is one thing, but being able to have the content, have the setup, and work all these different angles, man. You are a stud. You like the Micah. I'll call you the Micah Parsons. Y'all both from the
y'all both from the linebacker of the podcast.
Yeah, you're the linebacker of the podcast. Y'all both from the 715.
Don't do that to us. 717.
I'm sorry, 717. You know, it's a Harrisburg thing.
Harrisburg thing, man.
And,
we take pride in that.
And bro, you have been phenomenal. You have been phenomenal for what you do during the week, what we do on Sundays, man. And your star is as bright as anyone I've ever been around. Like I said, I've been around a lot of people in my time, and thank you to Nick.
Yes,
our boy Nick.
Nick ain't on air on screen right now.
Thank you, Nick.
But Nick
appreciate you,
he's
man.
held it down behind the scenes here at Texas Live.
Like, y'all don't understand how crazy it gets in here.
Like, shoot, he had to push the man out.
But Nick is like Nick does marketing and advertising and security. Our sales guy. Nick
promotion out here. Yo, check us out, man.
Check us out, Nick. You know, when we hungry, like, Nick, can we put an order in? Like, thank you, brother. Like, people understand, like, a lot of times don't understand how production is run, and there's a lot of people. Right,
there's a lot going on around.
There's a lot happening around us. There's a lot happening before we even get to Sunday. Thank you, Zach and Austin, for trusting us with your launch of the Dallas broadcast.
Yes,
this
Game
is the
Day
first.
Live. I think was so successful, and y'all don't know them, but I think they had a lot to do with it. To get us here was Zach and Austin.
Right,
and Zach put boots in the ground. Coming here.
If y'all want to know what the A to Z stands for, Austin and Zach. Right. Or it's A to Z Sports.
So clever. Yeah. Austin and Zach, and you cover sports from A to Z.
Yeah, it's double entendre.
It's pretty great. It's pretty great.
But Zach, Austin, thank you guys for. I remember when I got the call, and this was. Again,
I told him to call you.
To you.
They said, "Yeah, man, we need a game day." I said, "Jesse, you get them, please. Find a way to get me." I didn't know if you were gonna do it, man.
And that's huge. When for me, talk about like when someone. Ben and Skin were two dudes who've been in the DFW radio game for 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
and they stamped me and put me on. And when people put their name behind me, I take that personal.
Yeah.
Like the Michael Jordan meme. I took that personal. So when someone says, nah, he's the guy you should get. Like
and it wasn't just like, oh, because I went into detail, like, go watch him. I made them go watch you.
Yeah.
And they were sold immediately.
And so having that conversation, and they said, like, hey, listen, Will told us to call you. And I was like, wow. And at that time, we hadn't really.
Yeah, we talked a few times,
but
we
it
weren't
wasn't
as close.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wow, that's pretty dope. And to be with the start of a new company in this area, what we've been able to do this year with like really no promotion. We like Beyonce this thing. Like we really like just.
We just popped on the scene.
We just popped on the scene. Like we released that 12 Midnight. And we've done nothing but grow.
We did one picture, Joe, where this motherfucker was 6'8" over me, and I'm back to back, and everybody wants to then now text me. I didn't know you was that short. I told you I wasn't tall. I just happened to be standing next to a giant. I said no more picture promotions unless I'm sitting down.
But man, it has been.
Fun.
This year has been
Listen,
amazing, bro.
If y'all want to know, I wish he would have recorded it. How opposite we are.
We're super opposite.
But when we come on this thing here, it's like it meshes.
Yes.
But how opposite we are during the games. There was one play. There was one play. I lie to you not. Anthony Brown gets the pick. This man right here is like this. This ain't no joke. Let me get my phone. We're on Twitter.
Yeah.
Anthony Brown got that pick. I slipped up here. I fell on the ground. I sprained my wrist. My wrist is, I'm still feeling it low key. I'm still feeling it. They didn't tell me I needed my non-sticks in there. I should have worn my non-slips, whatever they call it. I'll break my hand. I'm yelling. Y'all can't tell my voice is gone.
Yeah.
I'm all over this place, which is every game.
Every game.
But that play just picture perfect of what we are during the games. But I absolutely love it.
Yeah. No, that's what makes us I think that's what makes us so unique is that we are different, but we're the same, right? We both are going to bring it when it's time to bring it.
Yeah.
But it's just different. Like, I said before the game, I said over or under before you're sitting up here and then you're down there with the people.
And you said over under.
First
Will
quarter.
Getting on the floor. First quarter.
The game didn't even start yet. You were down there. And it's always funny because and please, we love for people to come out. We love the fan support. We love when people say that they've been, he's an icon on YouTube. People,
man, that's big words,
bruh. Man. People, I can't tell you how many times, over 100 times this year, we've been here and people have walked by like, yo, I see you on YouTube. Yo, I see you here. Yo, I watch your show. And like just,
it is humbling.
Crazy.
It is humbling. And I appreciate everybody's support. From just personally, I appreciate it.
But the funniest
is amazing.
Is when people come and the plays are actually happening in the game.
I know you.
And you want to have a conversation. Like I'm always kind of standing in the back. But people, because again,
they don't know me.
I sit up here kind of off, like out of the way, right? I'm more calm, I'm more reserved. Will is like down with the people and out here.
High-fiving
people. He chest bumped one dude. Like, before the game, by the end of the first,
I can't say it on air.
By the end of the first quarter, Will has made 8 new friends. Like, 8 new friends. People was coming to brewery. He was like, Will was holding tables for a crew that came in every week. He's like, I got you. Like,
my folks, man, they probably over there, too.
But when people come and Will is trying to watch the game, like, as the plays happen and they have questions for him, and he's so good. Like, he'll engage, he'll talk to you, he'll give you information. But I know the look on his face, he is so mad. He is so pissed. Because he's like, dude, you could have went into a commercial. You could have waited to halftime. You want to
talk to me in the middle of the
goddamn. Will is, like, when I tell you he lives and dies with every single play, he lives and dies with every single play. He wants to watch it and analyze it and observe it. And when people come and talk to him and hold conversations.
you be back here tripping. Is that what you be doing? I don't even be noticing.
I just watch you because I'm like, he is so pissed. And you're still the nicest dude. You engage.
I try to be professional. I try to, you know what I'm saying?
I know. But it's the funniest.
I warn people every time, if you're going to come to the games and engage, I don't mind it. I don't mind it pregame. I don't mind it in the postgame. I don't mind it halftime. I don't mind it commercial. I mind it a little bit. in the most respectful way. If you are trying to talk to me as a play is happening, and I do it for your safety, you should you know what I'm talking about. For your safety, you should probably stand about 3 to 6 feet away because I tend to get very excited.
Yes.
And for those that watch the show every morning, I wear my emotions on my sleeve. I try to be as professional as possible at the same time, but I say it every time. I am a fan just like you, a diehard fan, and I will never, win, lose, or draw, I'm here for it all, Jesse, as a fan.
No, you are.
And I'll bring it. And look at this right here. The Pittsburgh Steelers are up on the Kansas City Chiefs.
T.J. Watt, like I know Dak is. I know Micah had a great year. T.J. Watt,
Defensive player.
He's the defensive player of the year.
Yeah, he got the sack.
Like he's got the sack and he got a fumble.
You know what's funny?
That went back for a touchdown. Pittsburgh up 6-0 right.
I'm gonna leave this one on a hot note. Oh, that wasn't okay. That was a fumble.
Oh, that's a fumble.
Very similar years for the quarterback on that red team, for the quarterback for this home team. Very strange. Tale of two halves. Defenses are carrying you. Turnovers, but turnover. Wasn't the MVP year we wanted from our guy Patty, but now let's see, right? Now let's see what happens. We've got a chance here, down a little bit. We know he can bing, 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 bing it.
Right.
But let's see.
And also we know they got good coaching.
Well,
offensively.
I know, but you can't get me going back down that dang on
I'm sorry.
train,
I'm
man.
sorry. I'm sorry.
It's going to be such a long offseason because I do want to focus on that. I think a lot of that was an issue, but obviously we got to talk about the players that also played a hand in it. So he'll talk about it on his show on .com.
Yes.
Hanging with the
Hanging
boys.
with the boys.
Check it out. One
We'll
of my favorite shows, man. I can't wait to see
Uncle
Nate. Nate is going to be dejected tomorrow, man. I'm a little dejected because I'm a diehard fan too, but I got to come on here and we got to talk about these things. But Nate don't. So how I'm not going to show it. I try to be. Nate going to be. Yeah.
Oh, I'll get a phone call tonight.
Yeah.
He'll call me tonight.
Yeah, Nate going to be feeling.
He'll call me tonight. Nate going
to be feeling it. All right, Cowboys Nation. This is our final sign off. A to Z Sports Game Day Live. Jesse Holley, Skywalker Steele here at Texas Live. Hopefully, though, not for the last time. But this is the final sign-off for game days. We will see you this week on our own respected shows.
Yep.
Make sure you guys tune in. We are out. Peace. Love you.